The United States Capitol became a battleground of blame and recrimination. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, once hailed as a pandemic hero, stood before a House panel. He was there to testify about his state's harrowing experience with COVID-19. However, his testimony quickly transformed into a blistering critique of former President Donald Trump's handling of the pandemic. Cuomo accused the Trump administration of gross negligence and a failure of leadership. He argued that their actions, or lack thereof, cost countless American lives. The hearing room crackled with tension. Cuomo, known for his combative style, pulled no punches. He recounted the early days of the pandemic, where fear was palpable and information scarce. Cuomo's testimony struck a nerve, reopening old wounds and igniting a firestorm of debate. His words resonated with many Americans, particularly those who had lost loved ones during the pandemic. However, Cuomo's critics accused him of grandstanding and attempting to rewrite history. Cuomo's voice wavered with emotion as he spoke about the devastating toll that COVID-19 had taken on New York. He painted a heart-wrenching picture of overwhelmed hospitals and exhausted healthcare workers. He spoke of families torn apart by illness and death. Cuomo's testimony was not just a recitation of facts and figures. It was a raw and emotional account of his experience leading New York through the darkest days of the pandemic. At times, Cuomo's anger boiled over, accusing the Trump administration of playing politics with people's lives. Cuomo's testimony was a masterclass in political theater. Whether one agreed with him or not, it was difficult to deny the power of his words. Cuomo's testimony was met with fierce pushback from Republicans on the House panel. They accused him of engaging in a cynical attempt to rehabilitate his image after resigning as governor in disgrace. Republicans argued that he was using the hearing as a platform to deflect attention from his own scandals. They grilled him about a March 2020 directive from his administration that barred nursing homes from refusing patients solely because they had tested positive for COVID-19. This directive, they argued, had led to a surge in infections and deaths among vulnerable nursing home residents. Cuomo defended his administration's actions, arguing that the directive was intended to prevent hospitals from being overwhelmed. However, Republicans remained unconvinced, accusing Cuomo of prioritizing political expediency over the well-being of New York's most vulnerable citizens. The hearing quickly devolved into a partisan shouting match. The March 2020 nursing home directive became a lightning rod for controversy. Republicans argued that the directive, which prevented nursing homes from turning away COVID-19 patients, was reckless. They presented statistics and expert opinions to bolster their claims. They painted a grim picture of COVID-positive patients being sent back to ill-equipped nursing homes. Cuomo defended the directive, arguing it was necessary to prevent hospitals from being overrun. He insisted the decision was based on the best available scientific evidence. A subsequent investigation found no evidence the directive increased nursing home deaths. Republicans dismissed the findings, arguing they were flawed and protected Cuomo. The directive remains a highly sensitive and contentious issue. Cuomo's decision to testify before the House panel was a calculated gamble. Some observers saw it as a desperate attempt to salvage his tarnished legacy and potentially stage a political comeback. By appearing before Congress, Cuomo was able to control the narrative to some extent and present his side of the story. Cuomo's testimony allowed him to remind the public of his leadership during the early days of the pandemic. However, the hearing also exposed Cuomo to renewed scrutiny and criticism. It highlighted the controversies that had led to his downfall. The hearing's impact on Cuomo's political future remains uncertain. For now, he remains a polarizing figure, both admired for his leadership and reviled for his alleged abuses of power. The House hearing served as a stark reminder of the COVID-19 pandemic's enduring legacy. The pandemic has left an indelible mark on the United States. It has exposed deep societal divisions, exacerbated existing inequalities, and eroded trust in institutions. The pandemic also highlighted the critical importance of strong public health infrastructure, effective communication, and decisive leadership. As the United States continues to grapple with the pandemic's long-term consequences, it is imperative that lessons are learned from the mistakes of the past. The debate over the government's response to the pandemic is far from over. It is a debate that is likely to continue for years to come. The COVID-19 pandemic will remain a defining chapter in American history, marked by both tragedy and resilience.